I was browsing Reddit today and I came across this post and it really stuck out to me because it kind of highlights a lot of the issues that I personally ran into doing weight loss. It's something I see a lot of other people run into doing weight loss, and it's kind of something I want to talk about. So the post is pretty short. I'll link it down in the description in case you want to check it out. But it's really just someone posting and looking for their ideal calorie intake for weight loss. So they say here they're a 29-year-old female who's 5'3" and weighs 67 kilograms. That works out to be 148 pounds. And she's looking for her idyllic caloric intake to lose 10 kilograms, 22 pounds in 3 months. Now, even though it's so short, there's a lot to break down here. So, first things first is she's on the right track. When it comes to losing weight, so that means if you're losing fat, you need to be concerned with losing weight. And to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit. Now, to be in a calorie deficit, you need to make sure you're eating less calories than you're burning. When it comes to burning calories or eating calories, the easier one to control a lot of the time is eating, because you can out eat how many calories you burn extremely easily. If you want to see just how easy, feel free to look on YouTube of any videos of people trying to, the outwork a bad diet people. And I think Will Tennyson has a couple of cool videos on that, so definitely go check those out. They're pretty nice, and they kind of show how difficult it can be to actually outwork this. So when it comes to losing weight, and I would say generally when people say lose weight, they're actually looking to lose fat. I don't know too many people who are trying to actively reduce the amount of muscle or bone density that they have, as well as other factors that can contribute to your weight. Maybe water weight, although that one, some people. Anyway, when it comes to weight loss, a lot of people are really talking about fat loss, and there's a lot more factors to that than just how many calories you eat. So, for example, you can eat as few calories as you want, but if you just sit on the couch and watch TV all day, you're probably going to you're not going to burn that much more fat than muscle, or it's definitely going to be a lot harder for your body to retain what muscle you have. And so even if you do successfully lose weight and lose all this weight, you're probably just going to end up skinny fat, because your ratio of fat to muscle is going to be so abysmal that you're not going to look too different from when you started off. Maybe you just take up a bit less space, but as far as your body composition, you're going to be in the same spot, man. So it's a lot better to look at different avenues than just reducing food, because as well, like, if you're not moving around a lot, what's going to end up happening is you're going to have to cut down your calories so extremely that your life is going to be miserable. You're just going to hate your life. And so if you're looking to lose weight, one of the best things to do would be to make sure that you're actively working out, first of all. Definitely before you start cutting calories, you should try to move more. So calories in, calories out can be restated as move more, eat less. And generally, the way I pitch it to people is if you're looking to lose weight, try to move more first and then eat less. And if you're trying to gain weight, you should try to eat more first and then move less, because they counterbalance each other. I hope that wasn't too confusing. But in any case, try to exercise first. So, for example, this person, I have no idea if they're exercising once a week, 3 times a week, 7 times a week, 0 times a week. I have no idea. And your calories in are going to greatly depend on if you're moving or not. Because if you're extremely sedentary, yeah, your body might only need like 1,500 calories in order to maintain itself. And so if you want to be in a deficit, what are you going to eat 1,100 calories a day? That's not happening. That's not sustainable. You're going to die. That's just not good, man. That's just not good. So definitely, you start working out. I would always recommend getting into some resistance training. I would recommend doing a little bit of low intensity cardio. So that would be like walking or going on a nice easy bike ride. Nothing too intense, but do that for about 150 minutes a week. I actually got that number from Greg Doucette. Credits to him. It's a solid number, and it's a lot harder to do than you might think. But if you just program in like a 20 to 30 minute walk every day, that's all you really need. So you have that coupled with maybe doing a super simple resistance training program. So that can be, if you want to just do it at home, that can be just like like some push-ups, some sit-ups, some pull-ups, that kind of stuff, or whatever you have available to you. It can be just going to your local gym and doing, a lot of them have like a machine circuit, so you can go through like a list of different machines and work out different parts of your body. I would definitely recommend that if you're starting off. Of course, for like the weightlifters who are watching this video, you don't really have to worry about how you're going to program. I'm sure you already have your program, so just stick to that and maybe optimize it, consult a personal trainer, make sure that everything you're doing is actually bang on and correct. And then once you have your exercise dialed in, the next thing I want you to look at, and actually I would say maybe do this even before the exercise, would be make sure you're drinking enough water. Because a lot of times we get hungry because our bodies are actually looking to get hydrated from the food. It's a really weird phenomenon. I don't know too much about it. What I'm more familiar with is that drinking a lot of water can actually stimulate you feeling fuller because there's a higher volume of content in your stomach. And so it actually allows you to get full on less food, not be hungry as much throughout the day, and kind of constantly stimulate that satiation pathway in the brain and make sure that you're always feeling full. So definitely make sure you're getting a lot of water, which is super important as well if you're exercising, because water is key in exercise performance. So if you're really looking to burn a lot of calories or even gain muscle, make sure you're drinking a lot of water. It's essential. 1 cup an hour on the hour from the moment you wake up, especially more if you're taking creatine, which a lot of people are now. So keep that in mind. Make sure you're constantly hydrated. Just literally drink water all the time. So once you have your hydration and exercise dialed in, then you can start looking at your nutrition. Then you can start looking at, okay, how aggressively do I need to cut my calories? The way that's going to look is, first of all, you want to make sure you're not cutting your calories too aggressively. Now, how much cutting too aggressively is going to be different for everybody, but I would say anything less than 1800 is going to be too low for pretty much most people. If you're eating less than 1800 calories, there's probably something wrong with the first two things that I mentioned, so refer to those. And if you still have a problem at that point, then I would consider getting in touch with like a doctor, a trainer, a nutritionist, or someone to really like look at, okay, what is going on? Why are my maintenance calories so low? Because that can be the sign of actually a greater health problem, right? So definitely go get that checked out if you really struggle. But for the rest of people, as long as you're exercising, you're decently active, and you're drinking lots of water, you should be able to crush, at least 2,000 calories and be in a deficit. I think most people maintenance would be around like 2,200 to, upwards of 3,000, right? And so depending on that, you're going to be able to cut different amounts and do all this and that. But one of the biggest keys, I would say, if you're looking to lose weight in order to make sure you can keep calories low, is just to make sure you eat a high protein, high fiber diet. And the reason for that is that protein and fiber are the best stimulators of satiation. So in your body, you have a feeling of hunger and then you have a feeling of being full. They're not the same thing, they work to balance each other out. And there are certain foods, for example, if you eat super high carb, high fat foods, that will satiate you literally none. Like you will just feel just as hungry, if not more hungry than when you started. And then there are highly satiating foods, which are generally your high protein, high fiber foods. And so make sure that your diet consists mostly of those. And that's going to be really good. Side note, in terms of protein, if you are losing weight, so if you're cutting make sure that you have a high protein intake, because the last thing you really want from your body when you're losing fat is for it to also lose muscle, because it sort of defeats the purpose of losing fat in a sense, and it's just not a good plan to lose muscle. So do make sure you have a solid protein intake. And yeah, the last thing I want to say about this post that really stuck out to me. So first of all, I covered the main bit, which is the fact that you have to look at more than just calorie intake for fat loss. Calories in versus calories out is always true. It always will be true, but you should look at all the factors that go into that, because in terms of calories in, calories out, there's a lot more going on than just the eating portion. The eating portion is just your calories in portion. And even then, you have the foods you eat, the food selection, hunger, satiation, all that kind of stuff. And the calorie out bit, which is how active you are, how much you're exercising, what kind of exercises are you doing, and even stuff like how much muscle mass do you have will impact all of that. And the last thing I want to touch on is this goal of 10 kilograms in 3 months. Don't try to lose weight fast. It never works out well. You're going to end up getting disappointed. You're going to end up with body dysmorphia. It's going to suck. In terms of how fast to lose weight, the best advice I can give is the way you lose weight is the way you're going to keep it off. So if you're going to lose the weight super fast, probably not a sustainable method, probably not something you can do for the rest of life, probably something you shouldn't do. Whereas if you're going to lose weight gradually over time, it's going to be super sustainable. It's going to be something you could see yourself doing in the long term, and you're going to be able to keep that up and keep the weight off. So yeah, that was just my thoughts on this Reddit post. Just quick recap: drink lots of water, make sure you're exercising a good bit before you even look at touching your food in terms of losing weight. And then you can start looking at your food. Think about your food selection. So make sure you're getting a lot of protein, a lot of fiber. And lastly, don't give yourself unrealistic goals. It's basically setting yourself up for failure. And the way you lose weight is the way you're going to keep it off. So that's about it. See you in the next one.